Okay, sorry. Okay, basically, today's topic that I'll be sharing with you guys is about how to launch an ICO. So, basically, you guys know what is ICO. I already shared with you guys before. Yeah, however, today I'll be talking and sharing with you guys in depth of what is ICO and how to launch it. Okay, so basically ICO is initial coins offering. Alright. So now I'll be sharing with you guys a story first, then proceeding on about the steps that we have to take in order to launch an ICO. So last year, right, it seems that everyone was interested either running ICOs or even taking part in them. So the total amount of funds raised throughout the year nearing around $5 billion mark. Launching an ICO campaign is quite time consuming. So in many cases, pre-public engagement phase, which includes all the processes of to the first big announcement, take roughly around 6 months to 1 year. So this post-public engagement phase, which includes everything that happens between the first announcement and the actual sale of tokens. So normally it will take around 3 months, and this time frame is often considered long enough to gain the public attention and short enough for the public not to forget about the project. So, hi there, hello guys. Thank you for taking your time to watch my live. So, as for those who don't know, what I'm doing right now is sharing with you guys about the steps and process of how are we going to launch an ICO. So next stop, let me continue. So when it comes to the team involved in the project, again, there is no rules of thumb regarding the amount of people you will need on board. So the key here would not be hiring as many people as possible, but it's to cover every single area of expertise necessary for the project to come in to life, which include the developers, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, specialists, PR, marketing, as well as by the advisors, partners, and also the early investors. So in the line of this ICO, there's no rules. They don't set any rules. The competition is fierce. The time is an illusion, and the future value of tokens is not supported by anything but demand. And to assist you in navigating through this madness, right, so here will be a comprehensive checklist designed to help you guys understand how to launch your own and to make it a successful ICO. So first thing first is to come up with an idea, like think thoroughly, think through, like make sure that your project really needs this ICO. Hello Casey. So if you want your project to be successful, right, it has to offer a lot of solutions that the market currently needs. And this solution should be objectively better than your competitors have to offer. Yeah, to achieve that, you will need to have a thorough understanding of the market, know your target audience, and most importantly, know what they will be willing to give their money for. Yeah, so this is somewhat what you have to take note of, yeah, for you to have a successful ICO. So obviously, if your project is sourcing its funding and ICO campaign, it will have its own token. So according to this coin markets cap data, there currently are over 1,500 cryptocurrencies in existence. So if your token is to survive this competition, right, so let alone gain any value, it will need to be a very high demand. So to achieve that, you will need to think of a way to integrate cryptocurrencies into your project in a useful and a meaningful way, and so that it will become essential and integral parts of the product. Yeah. So second steps of it is you have to know your competition well. Yeah, so like who is your competitor, who is the person or who is the one you're competing with or against. So one might think that it's any other project offering similar services to yours. So well, you are actually competing for the investors' money. So the answer here is very simple. You are up against everyone else. Yes, every single ICO being held roughly at the same time as yours. So the third part of it, so you have to research the legal side of things and find out whether your country allows you guys to use this ICO, whether this ICO is legal in your country or not. So right, these ICO are currently the most regulated aspect of the cryptocurrencies, and this is due to the high volume of ICOs shutting down and running away with the collected funds, or simply being exposed or even scammed. So still in some of the country, initial coin offering, which is ICO, either legal, regulated, or subject to future regulations. So as so far only China and South Korea have banned ICOs in their area or respective jurisdictions. So in the US, citizens are required to disclose any income earned and wealth held abroad to the Internal Revenue Services, which is the IRS. So moreover, the US Security and Exchange Commission is prosecuting ICOs that are not compliant with their strict Know Your Customer policies. So because of that, a rapidly growing numbers of projects such as Goldmin, Datum, Monaco, Visa, and many others have implicitly exempted US citizens from buying their tokens. So bottom line is that you need to learn on how to navigate these cryptocurrencies regulations that are currently in place, and place close attention to any future changes to them. So this probably goes without saying, but still don't break the law. That is very most important things you have to take note. And hiring a lawyer with experience in cryptocurrencies and ICO regulation wouldn't go amiss. So you have to keep this in mind that even though you are not breaking any laws, any shady activities on your part, especially in relation to handling the investment, may result in your project being labeled as a scam by the cryptocurrencies community. So that is also the things that you guys have to take note. So if that's happened, your ICO will be doomed to fail. So not only that, you need to obey all the rules, relevant laws that they have, regulations. You also need to completely transparent in how you are going to handle the people money, like spending, taxes, fiat withdrawals, and any other financial aspect of the project. Really needs to be thoroughly out to the very last details. So the fourth part of it is that after which you complete so after you have think thoroughly about why you need to have these ICOs for your project, and after who is your competitor and whether your country allows you to have ICOs, the next step is you can create your ICO tokens. So how to create your ICO tokens? It's very simple. Okay, so think of your project as a human being. So the technical architecture is its skeleton that supports its entire body. So the blockchain technology and the token itself function as blood vessels, enabling the whole body to fully function. So just make it a body parts of it, to understand like how are you guys are going to create these ICO tokens for better understanding. So firstly, you need to have a very solid distributed plan. Why is that so? Because it heavily depends on a particular ICO's requirement and the plan. So like for instance, there can be very different stages of the token sales, including but not limited to a private sale, pre-sale, and the actual ICO, and also the general sale. So the different structure work differently for different ICOs. So back in 2013, NXT managed to raise 16,800 worth of Bitcoin simply collecting donations of any anonymous wallet via this Bitcoin Talk forum. Yeah. So interesting enough that after all these years, NXT's ICOs still hold on to the numbers one spot in terms of return of investments. So on the other hand, they do have this Telegram which managed to raise 850 MLN during a rather secretive pre-sale, and also apparently they are preparing this second round of pre-sale aiming to double the amount investment even before the actual ICO happens. So afterwards, the next step to create this ICO token is that you need to clearly outline and state how exactly the tokens are going to be distributed. So you have to decide in advance like how many tokens you'll be distributed in total, like how many of them are going to distribute among the members, and the rest, how many will be sold during each stage of the token sales. Last but not least is like where's the remaining tokens that you're going to distribute at. So yeah, this is also important for you guys to take note. So next step, so finally, when it comes to blockchain platform used to issue tokens for ICOs, right, the market really is not that competitive. So according to the ICO watch list, 81.7% project use this Ethereum platform. So basically, what is Ethereum? Ethereum is some sort the same as Bitcoin, but they do have this similarity. These differences between those two, where Ethereum will have this smart contract. So while the other 9% obtain for developing their own custom blockchain platforms. Okay, so there are of course other services such as Waves, Stratis or Hyperledger, but even they combined share of the market amount to just 3.7%. So next, creating this token, right? It's like it's a very easy process to follow, especially when it comes to Ethereum ERC20 tokens. So this Ethereum website even lists the code you would need to use. So however, customizing certain aspect of a crowd sale logic for your token might be a little bit more difficult. So if you are not exactly tech savvy, consider a hiring professional to do it for you, like me. So for more details, you can just check out this guide on the ICO platform. So how to write a white paper? Yeah. So what is white paper? So a white paper is mostly technical document that describe your entirely project in every possible detail. So ideally, it should cover literally everything, like market analysis, your vision of the project, its development strategy, architecture, angles, and more of it. So information on the tokens and its distribution, legal issues, your available resources, a description of your team, early investors, advisors, and so on and on and on. So everything, yeah, literally everything of it. So they will list everything inside this white paper. That's what is white paper about. So of course, not forgetting, not every possible investors will carefully read through the detailed technical description of your project. Yeah, because as you know, white paper, like I said, it lists down everything, the market analysis, so it will be very draggy. So yeah, so maybe 10 people will read the entire thing, but those 10 people that you need to satisfy with the white paper, because they are capable of bringing some serious problems on your ICO. And the blockchain enthusiasts have a great understanding of technical aspects, a substantial amount of expertise. They are extremely prominent and valued people within the community. So they are opinion leaders with audiences of 10,000 people. So if you are running a big PR campaign, but your project has some obvious flaws, those people won't miss their chance to expose them. Okay. Okay, so next, afterwards you are able to launch your website. So people are only interested in these three things, which is the theme, the project aims, and the measures in place to ensure the protection of the investor's interests. So one of the first things you will see on Nuvo's website is the detailed breakdown of the token sales structure. So not only that, this blog present the information is clear way, but it's also heavily contributed to building FOMO, or fear of missing out. So what is FOMO? Is fear of missing out. Yep. So the theme section of the website should contain names, high quality photos, brief biographies, focus specifically on team member skills relevant to the particular project, and links to the social networks. So yeah. So this theme section of the same ICO should have been more informative, and we don't even get to know those people roles in this project. However, right, this clear coin actually includes their bios, which is extremely useful, although there could be shorter. So another hugely important section of our website is the roadmap. Why is it important? Because they contain these realistically achievable goals and set time frames. And this roadmap with some important milestones already being ticked off with adoptedly gives the investors a lot more confidence in your project. So with this roadmap, right, what I can basically tell you is that it will your company could gain trust from the investors about your project. Yeah. So ideally your timeline should include set dates of alpha release, beta release, public release, and all the future milestones you deem necessary to mention. So the data should have been vague or vague. You need to be as specific as possible. So a breakdown of costs associated with every task outlined in the roadmap would also be a rather good idea. So have you guys seen a roadmap before? It's like telling, okay, in this year, what will you be doing, followed by this year, what have you achieved, and what is the steps and the things that you already done, and things that you are going to do, right? Yeah. It's like a planning so that your investors know that they can trust you guys. So roadmaps can be presented in various forms. The example above, which is they do have given an example like Novus. If you guys want to search from it, like Novus, Sapien, picture chain contains both history and the future plans. Like for example, today date is the 5th of November. So this roadmap, they will have a history of it, like for the past few days or few months, what I've been doing. Yeah, and like today what I've done or what I'll be doing, and proceeding on like future, like what I plan to do, something like that. So that is roadmap. So it should contain both history and also future plans that are rather informative and set concrete dates in terms of quarter. So it's better for you to set like legit the same, how to say, you cannot, like, for example, you stick to 5th November but then you delay it to 7, 6. Yeah, because you need to have like specific date for your your investors to trust you. Yeah, even though it takes you have only extra 1-2 days. Yeah, so you have to think thoroughly about that, even though making of the roadmap. So finally, make sure that all the information concerning token distribution is easily accessible to your future investors. So let them know what portions of your project currency will be distributed among the development team and how many will be actually available to buy it. So traditionally, right, link to the project social networks are listed at the bottom of the website, like Spring did it, like, you know, SHPING. Yeah, so of course they also have different options, like they demonstrated by the clever placement of this section on top of the page on the ClearCoin website. So they do have this layout. So when you have this content ready to be published, take some time to think about the website layout. So even the layout of the website is important. Yeah, so the absolute majority of the project these days are opting for a single page structure. So without a doubt, it is a very convenient and easily accessible way of presenting all the necessary information in the exact order it's intended to be in. So still, you need you and only you will know the most suitable structure for your project website. So yeah, as for the security also is an important thing, because one thing you will definitely don't want your website to do is to be down, right? So at any point of time, that is the most important thing. No one would want that to happen. So once your ICO starts, provided it's got sufficient interest from the community, thousands of people will be flocking to your website at all time. So the last thing you want in this situation is your website crashing. Sorry, the last thing you wouldn't want your website to happen is that it will crash. So in order to not make your website crash, you need to invest it in a good and reliable hosting service. Because why? Because once you start with your ICO thing, right, people will come up to see your website, so at the same time, which will lead to crashing of your website. So moreover, hacking and DDoS attacks are also a very common threat for any project running an ICO. So there have been many instances of official websites being hacked and the wallet addresses being replaced. So as a result, investors unknowingly send their money to the scammer. So also, if you are running a big PR campaign, make sure to take all the precautions necessary to protect your project from phishing attacks. That is important. It is quite common for fraudsters to accompany a DOS attack on your server with an all-out spam attack across every possible social channels with a message saying something like, "Our website is temporarily down, use this link instead." Yeah, this is a way for the scammer or the what they call it, hacker to, you know, do something to your website. So as for the design, right, even though it's design, it's also important, because this design, your website design, should really reflect the nature of your project. So it has to be reliable, looks sleek and professional, and also yet friendly. So even the tiniest mistake, like your text formatting, will repel a lot of investors. So definitely consider hiring professionals to both build and design your project website. Yeah. So these are the things for you, like the tips that I can share with you guys on how to create a perfect website. Okay, it include this subscription form, your presentation video, your roadmap, like what, when, and how are you going to do it, like the one I've mentioned before, and your description of your ICOs, your team members, like make sure okay, even though it's just to put your team members, like who are they and what are their roles. Basically, you need to have a clear, high quality picture of them, short bios of them, and social network links. Okay, you cannot just simply put any pictures. You have to put somewhat professional pictures with good high quality of their pictures. Okay, there's a lot of difference by using this thing, but it's just a picture of the team members. So next is the press conference. The pictures with Vitalik Buterin and other prominent members of the cryptocurrency community, links to the articles and publication videos of presentation, and also the talks. Yeah, so basically a picture of different things, like, you know. Okay, so not forgetting description of your product, the real life cases, your documents such as your terms and condition, legal, and yeah, mainly is the white paper. You know, white paper is for what? It's for them to understand basically what is your project all about. Like, even though they mentioned that not all of the people are going to read the whole thing. Yeah, they will read, but not the whole thing. So only the serious people that are the serious people that are reading it are the people that are going to bring you down. So next is your partners, advisors, and your early investors. Not forgetting your contact information and links to project, social networks on social networks account. So it is worth pointing out that if you are developing a truly global project, you might want to consider translating your website into the mother tongue of your target audiences. So when it comes to ICOs, the most useful languages to translate all the relevant information to Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Russian, German, French, and Spanish. Okay, these are the few languages that are useful. Okay, so considering that it costs around $60,000 to create a successful ICOs like from scratch, you will need to allocate a small amount of money for translation. So depending on the language pair, a translation of a 25-page white paper done by a professional or an agency should cost somewhere between $150 and $300. So if you decide to create a multilingual website, make sure that you hire a professional translators who are definitely good at their job. So even the tiniest mistake will result in the project looking unprofessional and losing potential investors. So okay guys, this is like the things that I've mentioned now is things to take note on how to make your ICOs a successful one. This is just the part of the one I'm talking about right now is about the website. Yeah. Okay, so if you do not decide, okay, let's proceed on to the PR and marketing. This is where you are going to promote your things, where you develop an idea, gathered a dedicated team, wrote a white paper, created your token, and make sure your ICO campaign complies with all the applicable laws and regulations. So, like what I've said, it's time for you to promote your ICOs, doing the PR and marketing for you guys to make money. So make sure to allocate a substantial amount of money for marketing. Prices for paid information listing can drastically vary from 400 to 15,000 and up to virtual infinite numbers. So a community manager will cost and charge of your project. Social network feeds will cost you at least $2,000 per month. Okay, that's a lot. Also make sure to use paid ads to your full advantage. That includes the Google ads, forum ads, and so on. So around $5,000 should give you a decent user base of capable investors. So finally, consider how much you're willing to allocate to bounty programs in case they are part of your PR campaign. So similarly to designing a website, planning a PR campaign is where you need to have a look at your project from a point of view of a potential investors, like considering how and where will your audience find out about your project, and most importantly, exactly how will it be presented to them. So you need to be able to clearly define where your project position itself within the current market and put together your first line of communication. It can be your FAQ or terms of condition. So this entirely cryptocurrency, right, is constantly driven by one particular powerful force, which is FOMO, or they call it fear of missing out. So people will invest in your venture if the hype around it is so powerful that it makes them believe they will miss out an amazing opportunity that they wouldn't want to lose it. So guys, basically that's about it that I've been sharing with you guys about how to launch this ICO. Basically just there's a few steps to be followed, which is first step is to think thoroughly why you need this ICO and whether your ICO is legal in your country or no, and know your competitors